House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
You're listening to House of Cards.
Today, the game is different.
I want to gamble. Gambling is a very serious business. Is that clear?
Welcome to House of Cards, everyone. This is Ashley Adams, your host for the hour. We have my favorite guest of the year. It's my favorite show. He is my favorite guest. We're going to talk with Seth Polansky. Seth is going to talk to us about the 2019 50th anniversary World Series of Poker in Las Vegas, and it is going to be quite an interview. I can't wait. And then we're going to talk to Hunter Sitchy. Hunter is both a poker player and a writer, as well as being a coach. He is the CEO of Check Shove Poker. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with Seth Polansky.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Wake up, poker fans!
You're listening to House of Cards.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Ashley Adams. This is my favorite interview of the year. We do a lot of them. This is absolutely the best guest. He is Seth Polansky, the executive super poobah of the World Series of Poker, the press contact, the person who gives us all the latest news about the biggest poker event of the year in the world, the World Series of Poker at the Rio. Seth, are you there?
I am here. Good to talk to you, Ashley.
Nice to talk to you. I always, the only problem with talking to you is I get so excited about going out to the World Series of Poker. I can't stand it because there's so much. Give our listeners first a quick overview of what you have in store for the 2019 World Series of Poker.
I mean, if I had to sum it up in a couple words, it's going to be the biggest one yet and the most value we've ever offered. And that is not hyperbole. There's been a lot of work done this off-season. It's our 50th running of the World Series of Poker. We want it to be special, and we've pulled out all the stops to make sure it is.
You say most value. What do you mean?
I mean, we've greatly increased the starting chip stacks this year, and it is not a smoke and mirror situation where we've reduced levels or taken out levels to make that work. We've actually added levels in addition to increasing the starting chip stack. So never before have you played a WSOP event that gave you more opportunity to maneuver, more time to get into the event and make your moves when you feel necessary without any pressure of running short.
Does this mean that the events are going to last much longer?
They are. So if there is one downside, you could argue that there's too much value because you will be getting definitely into day twos before you reach the money of these events, and a good way into day two. So from that standpoint, it'll take longer. That said, we've really constructed a schedule that hits everyone's specialty. By that I mean the World Series of Poker has really become an event for everyone. It's not just a pro circuit for those guys that play different variants or only high stakes or whatever. We've carved this thing up from $400 buy-ins to $100,000 buy-ins, from one-day tournaments to win a gold bracelet, to two-day tournaments to win a gold bracelet, to 10-day tournaments to win a gold bracelet. So whatever your cup of tea is, whatever the variant of poker, whatever the buy-in is, whatever the level length, whatever the starting chip stack is, you will be able to find multiple events that sort of fit your specialty or preference.
Well, I absolutely want to second that. I've written 6 things down that I want to make sure to touch base with you on about what makes this tournament series so special. First of all, you have a number of online events or online qualifier events. Could you tell us about that?
Yes. I mean, WSOP.com, if you are in Nevada or New Jersey where it is legal to offer real money online poker, has already started running satellites on a daily basis for the land-based events at the World Series of Poker, as well as a scheduled 9 online gold bracelet events that will take place during the summer. So anyone who prefers that variant of poker or is looking for a cheap way to get into events, you should go to WSOP.com and check out their schedule, and you'll find a way to get yourself qualified on the cheap.
Great. And along those lines, I noticed in reviewing your schedule, the days that somebody has to pony up $10,000 in $1970 are long gone. You have a lot of very short buy-in bracelet events. Could you tell us in more detail about that?
Yeah, we've added a 6-pack of deep stack events priced at $800 or under, so that you'll find $500, $600, $800 events. The Colossus this year has become a $400 event with a greatly improved structure as well. So the goal here is really to hit that market that is short on time, but definitely wants the WSOP experience with a lot of chips and a good structure. And these events hit that mark. And when we analyzed our data from last year, I mean, it's 90% of our participants prefer no limit hold'em as their game of choice, and they really play an average of 3 events or less. So it's trying to find a couple events. If you come in for the Millionaire Maker weekend, for example, that $1,500 event where you can walk away with $1 million. If you don't get lucky and win that million, well, we've set it up so the Sunday we have a $600 buy-in 2-day event where you can try to get your money back from the Millionaire Maker as part of that trip.
Listeners, we're going to cut away. We'll be back after a quick break.
House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to Drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with Drizzly.com.
You're listening to House of Cards. Check out our website at houseofcardsradio.com.
Hello, listeners. Welcome back to House of Cards. This is Ashley Adams, your host. Listeners, by the way, if you just tuned in, we're talking with Seth Polanski about the World Series of Poker. On the other end of the spectrum, you have, I think, more high roller events as well. Could you tell us about your marquee high roller events bigger than $10,000 buy-ins?
Yeah, sure. We have a $25,000, $250,000, and $100,000 event on the schedule this year, as that marketplace has found a relative stabilized home for players that want to play on that level. I guess it takes some guys a little more to get out of bed in the morning, and we want to make sure we have an offering catered to those guys. So we have a special 50th annual $50,000 buy-in, no-limit hold'em event, and we also have a $100,000 buy-in event towards the end of the schedule. And, of course, what is one of the premier events on the schedule to determine who the best all-around poker player is, then that's the $50,000 buy-in Poker Players Championship, where we play 8 variants of poker, and we see... Michael Mizrachi has won that event 3 times now, which is incredible. But it's a who's who of poker, Illuminati, so to speak, battling it out. And so it's always fun to see those small field events when the stakes are really high.
Yeah, I agree. And just for listeners that might not understand the setup, people can be, at least to some extent, spectators, right? I mean, they don't have complete access, but they have some access and can watch, at least from afar, all the celebrities they've ever heard of. Tell us about how that works.
Yeah, I would argue the greatest access in all of sports. I mean, you're on the playing field. You're not watching a football game or a basketball match from the grounds that the players are playing on, but in poker you are. So access is free because the Nevada gaming regulations require events be open, free, and accessible to the public. So you just have to be 21 years old, and you're welcome into our events, and you can spectate from the rails, we call it. You're on the same floor as the players. You're just a little further back to give them the ability to operate and the tournament staff to run the event with the integrity necessary to ensure everything works as intended, but you're right on top of the action. There's breaks every 2 hours. Players happy to take pictures, sign autographs. It's really kind of a neat experience for a poker fan.
It is. For those that have never been, it really is like the largest convention of poker players that you've ever encountered, and among those players are all the players or almost all the players you've ever heard of mingling in the setting that is accessible to all. Toward that point, if I remember correctly, there is a new event, or if it's not new, it's relatively new, where it's an invitational to people who have won events in the past. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we've added, because it's the 50th annual World Series of Poker, we've added a special bracelet winners only no-limit hold'em event towards the end of the schedule. So it will include anyone who wins a bracelet this year prior to this event taking place. But the real goal of that was to celebrate the past champions of World Series of Poker's first 50 years. And we have 1,078 gold bracelet winners in our lifetime. And so any of those people, plus the people this year, will be able to pony up $1,500, enter this event. And it's really crowning the champion of champions, so to speak, in this event. It's just sort of a neat way to recognize those that have, climbed the mountaintop of poker at the World Series of Poker in the past.
Yeah, I absolutely want to be there for that, so at least I can see some of the people that I've read about in the past. And you know, or you may recall, I was chiefly not a no-limit hold'em player. I was a stud specialist and find the dearth of stud events around the world to be disappointing. But you, in fact, as you mentioned earlier in this interview, the World Series of Poker does have a number of no-limit hold'em events. Could you tell us about those?
Yes, I mean, there is. I mean, more than anyone spreads anywhere. We probably have more in this 7-week period than that's spread around the rest of the world throughout the entire year. So whatever your discipline of poker is, whether it's horse, whether it is 7-card stud, whether it's Raz, whether it's Omaha, high-low, you name it. We even have dealer's choice where you can play 19 variants of poker all in one game, where you get to decide what game you play when it's your turn on the button. So, and we, from $1,500 buy-in to $10,000 buy-in, I mean, we spread them at both levels there, so everyone can get a shot. And it's great because these games still matter to us. They're still important. People do get no-limit hold'em fatigue, so it's a great opportunity to learn new games if you're not that familiar with it in a low-stakes environment at the 1,500 level for a lot of people, or just to see how your game can grow by bringing in other game variants.
Yes, absolutely. I did have a question about that. I can't recall. Is this the first World Series of Poker that has no dedicated lowball championship, or do you still have one?
We don't have dedicated. I mean, we have deuce to 7 lowball triple draw.
Okay, you do. Okay,
but not ace to 5 lowball anymore, and that's been off the schedule for a while. It mixes in with dealer's choice and some of the other games, but not as a standalone game. It hasn't been there for a while, and that's just one of those unfortunate things, is that there just is no longer being spread anywhere, which makes it very difficult for people to want to try themselves playing it for the first time in a gold bracelet setting.
Yeah, but you do have the deuce to 7 triple draw, which is really a wonderful game. And then the final thing that I noticed about the tournament schedule that I found very positive is that you have a number of low buy-in events, and by low I mean not $10,000, toward the end of the tournament schedule. It used to be you had your main event, and that was maybe a charity event thrown in, and that was it for the last week or so. But you actually keep the events coming, I believe, until the very end, don't you?
Yes, we'll have a dozen events as post-limbs to the main event that people can play, including great things like online Summer Saver and what we call the Closer, which is a $1,500 buy-in event towards the back half of the schedule. We even got a great new event this year called the Mini Main Event, which will precede the main event just days before. So if you kind of want your warm-up to playing the main event, there's a $1,000 buy-in event that's going to have every level that's in the main event, but instead of 2-hour levels like the main event, these are 30-minute levels, so it's faster, but it's going to give you that, okay, we're going from this level to this level, just like the main event, and a fun little way, an affordable price point to sort of main event prep.
Listeners, we're going to cut away. We'll be back after a quick break.
Don't just listen to House of Cards. Now you can be part of the show with the House of Cards hotline. Call us at 609-474-HOCR and leave a message for Ashley and the rest of the House of Cards crew. Comments about the show, poker questions, You just want us to know about great places to play, or you just got bluffed out of a pot. Your messages may even be played on the air. Give us a call at 609-474-HOCR. That's 609-474-4627. The House of Cards hotline, available 24 hours a day. Call the hotline or send us an email at info@houseofcardsradio.com, and don't forget to visit our website at houseofcardsradio.com and follow the show on Twitter and Facebook. By leaving a message with House of Cards, you consent to having your message played on the air.
Hey, it's Dave from House of Cards, and you know this show keeps me busy traveling around the country. Do you hear all that noise behind me? That's a casino floor in Atlantic City. Even though I'm around all this excitement, I still need a good night's sleep, and that's why I bring MyPillow everywhere. Now, don't get me wrong, the hotel rooms here are very comfortable, but some of their pillows aren't the best for my back and neck. That's why MyPillow is a must for me when I travel. And now there's a great new deal being offered by the folks at MyPillow. For a limited time, House of Cards listeners can receive a very special offer. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special tab, and use promo code CARDS or call 1-800-319-7913 to take advantage of this 4-pack special. You'll get 50% off 2 MyPillow premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. MyPillow.com with promo code CARDS. That's promo code CARDS to take advantage of this 4-pack special. Better sleep starts with MyPillow.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Dinovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
New Jersey's online gambling market is loaded with so many different sites and all kinds of promotions, it's enough to make your head spin like the reels on an old-time Atlantic City slot machine. So how do you make sense of all that information floating out there in cyberspace? Well, you don't have to. That's because the folks at NJOnlineGambling.com have done all of that for you. NJOnlineGambling.com is your complete resource for all the online sites in New Jersey. Which games have the biggest jackpots? NJOnlineGambling.com has the answer. Which sites use PayPal for deposits? NJOnlineGambling.com has the answer. NJOnlineGambling.com is the most trusted guide to the New Jersey online gambling market. Industry news, site reviews, the latest slots, table games, poker, they got it all in one spot. It's the ultimate resource for online players in New Jersey. They even got the best sign-up offers, better than some of the ones being offered by the online casinos themselves. Look, they say bet with your head, so why not do the same before you bet and check out NJOnlineGambling.com, the most trusted resource around for New Jersey's online gambling market. House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to Drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with Drizzly.com. Brightech offers unique no-dust lighting products that fit right into your home, no construction required. Elevated designs should be available to everyone, not just the folks with the big bank accounts. Trick out your living room, create your perfect reading nook. Whatever the situation, Brightech has a lighting solution for you. And now get 5% off of your entire order when using our promo code Radio5OFF at checkout. Head on over to BrightTechShop.com and start designing the life you want. Brightech, your bright life realized. Hey, this is Dave Weishuttle from House of Cards with your House of Cards gaming report for the week of April 1st, 2019. Many Las Vegas resorts are lowering their resort fees due to a decline in visitation to the city. The Wynn and Cosmopolitan stopped charging parking fees for overnight guests, and the Golden Nugget and Red Rock Resort have offered rooms without resort fees. Although there is no data supporting that resort fees are the problem, visitation to Las Vegas has reached a 4-year low. The Sands Casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania will be changing its name. The casino will bear the name Wynn Creek after the gaming arm of Alabama's Creek Tribe purchased the property. The tribe bought the property for $1.3 billion last year, which is the site of the former Bethlehem steel plant. And finally, a plea deal will land a former NFL player in jail for a bit. Adam Pac-Man Jones has signed a plea agreement where he pled guilty to cheating at gambling and resisting law enforcement. This is a result from an arrest at the Rising Star Casino where Jones allegedly threatened and resisted an Indiana gaming official after he was accused of cheating at the casino. Jones is scheduled to be back in court next month. Have any news or tips regarding casinos, gaming, or legislation? Send us an email at newsroom@houseofcardsradio.com and follow us on Twitter at HOC Radio.
Something exciting is happening in New Jersey. People are cheering in Cherry Hill and cashing in chips, pumping fists in Fort Lee and flopping full houses. Get the thrill and play on your laptop, tablet, or mobile at BorgataPoker.com. Real money anywhere in New Jersey. The Borgata Hotel and Casino is a name you can trust, so you can be sure that BorgataPoker.com is secure. And now with a $25 deposit, you can get a $20 bonus when you sign up for Borgata Poker at HouseOfCardsRadio.com. Remember, you must be at least 21 and physically present in New Jersey to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Well, don't take it too hard. I've done a lot of stupid things in my life, too.
Stupid? What do you mean, stupid?
Welcome back, listeners. Listeners, by the way, we are, if you just tuned in, we're talking with Seth Polanski about the World Series of Poker. Well, we've talked about the tournaments. I think a lot of people don't realize that you have an extraordinarily busy cash game area connected to the World Series. I'm not talking about the Rio's own little cash room. I'm talking about the entire really banquet hall of cash games. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we do. As part of the World Series of Poker, there are gold bracelet events, but there's also nonstop satellites running both single table and mega. So if you want to get your way into a gold bracelet event at a lower price point, there's plenty of opportunity to do that. There's daily deep stack tournaments for those pressed on time from $150 to $400 buy-ins where you play one-day tournaments. They're non-gold bracelet events, but they're for the guys who are short on time. And then, of course, cash games where you can buy in and leave at any point. We offer up to 100 tables going simultaneously of cash games. So every buy-in level, every game you want, we'll spread what you want to play. You get 8 other guys that want to play it, and the game's going. And it's not hard at the Rio in the summer to find very juicy cash games throughout. So the Pavilion Room, which is our largest tournament room that houses 180 poker tables, about 100 of those are dedicated just to cash games.
Yeah, it is a wonderful scene. So now that everybody who's listening is just drooling with anticipation, tell us a little bit about accommodations. If somebody wants to go and wants to stay, is there a special rate? Is there a way that they can get in with as a player in the tournament, or just coming out as a casual person playing in the cash games?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We offer a special player's rate. As most people know, the World Series of Poker is owned by Caesars Entertainment, and Caesars has 9 different properties on the Strip, so it's not hard to, find a hotel that works for you. And at WSOP.com/reservations, it gives you a link and a promotional code to use, and essentially you get the promo code. You just have to turn in a buy-in receipt from any of our events, and they'll honor the rate code for you. And so that's the Rio where the event takes place. Rates are as low as $62. and you can go all the way up to Caesar's Palace at $161 a night. But I mean, we got the Link, the Cromwell, Harrah's, Flamingo, Bally's, Planet Hollywood, Paris. So there's a plethora of choices in our family, and of course Vegas has over 150,000 hotel rooms. So the beautiful thing is, for people who either have been to Vegas or haven't been at this time of the year, it's hot out here, so conventions aren't typically in business, which means hotel rates are very low and affordable, and it's not hard to find a good deal to come out during the time of the World Series of Poker.
Well, I'm coming, and I just... It's always exciting, as I said before, and I'm only upset because now I'm just so eager to be out there taking advantage of it, and I have to wait a few months. But I think I'll survive. Anything else?
We have a countdown clock. It is getting close. We're in the 76-day range, so it'll be here before you know it, Ashley.
Great. Well, Seth, anything else you want to add?
There's one big event I want to mention. It's our opening weekend event starting May 30th through June 2nd, and that's the Big 50, we're calling it. It's a $500 buy-in, no-limit hold'em event where the winner's walking away with $1 million.
Wow.
So I want to be clear here. You can turn $500 into $1 million if you win this thing. That is not $1 million prize pool. We're guaranteeing a $5 million prize pool, but the winner will get $1 million. So this is really the great chance for those who want to take a shot at something. It'll be a huge event, and it's rake-free. You've heard that correctly. We are offering this event for your first entry as rake-free. So all $500 goes to the prize pool in that case.
Wow.
And we expect it to be a huge, and this is our give back and our celebration of our 50th WSOP to the players. And we encourage everyone to if there's one event that you want to come try that's affordable, that you can win a lot in a short period of time, this is the event.
Does it go off on multiple days, and how long is it from start to end?
Yeah, so it has a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday starting flights, and I mean the structure here is incredible. These are 50-minute levels, 50,000 in starting chips, and it will take a while to play this one out. So we'll crown our winner, I think, the Thursday following. So some people are coming out just for the weekend. They'll play the Saturday or Sunday flight, and then the event will continue on from there. It's so deep that everyone's got to play their own separate day, too. Whatever flight, if you play Flight A, you'll have your own Flight A for day 2, because with 50,000 starting chips and 50-minute levels, it's going to take a while to take this huge field down.
Wow. How can you not do that? It's no rake. Cheap people like me are really salivating. One last thing I didn't ask. You have a senior event, which is 50+, and you have a super senior 60+. Is that right? Do you have a super duper senior or decrepit senior at 70+? What are your senior events?
Yeah, we have a seniors and a super seniors. That's right, and you're right on the ages, 50+ for seniors, which is scaring me because I'm on the cusp of being eligible for that event. And that this year we moved to a Thursday. It's usually on a Friday. The seniors is Thursday, June 13th. It's a $1,000 buy-in. They're getting $20,000 in starting chips, up from $5,000 last year, like a lot of these events have done. So that has just been a huge event. Every year, more and more people are playing this event, and it's one of the most special tournaments we offer. It's just pure joy and fun, and it is the event with the most entries of people playing their only event, meaning a senior comes in just for this event specifically, and that's the only event they play in their schedule, and they look forward to it all year, and it's a fun event.
Great. Well, it sounds terrific, Seth. I'm eager to come out there. I'm eager to see you again, and I wish you well.
Thanks, Ashley. Pleasure to talk to you, and we'll see you soon enough, hopefully hoisting your first gold bracelet.
All right. Well, thanks very much. Take care.
Take care.
Listeners, that was Seth Polansky talking about this year's 50th anniversary World Series of Poker at the Rio in Las Vegas. We're going to take a pause, and we will be back with another guest.
House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
This is House of Cards Radio with Ashley Adams.
Now, I do some other stuff, but poker, that's the thing I do best.
Hello, listeners. Welcome back to House of Cards. This is Ashley Adams, your host. We like to have successful poker players, coaches, and authors on this show. If you've been listening, you've heard many of them. We have one now. His name is Hunter Sitchy. He is the CEO of Check Shove Poker, the CEO of Check Shove Poker. He is a professional poker player and also the author of a book that is coming out in June, Advanced Concepts in No Limit Hold'em. We have him here now. Hunter, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So tell our listeners a little bit about your background. I mean, I've read it, but I want them to know that you know of what you speak.
Well, how far back do you want to go? Because my grandfather taught me how to play when I was 12, and I just got obsessed with the game, started playing online underage when I was about 14, and by the time I turned 18, I was good enough to go pro. That coincided with Black Friday, so unfortunately I had to learn how to play live poker, but luckily I grew up in Minnesota, and that's one of the few states that allows 18-year-olds to gamble, so I started playing at Running Aces Harness Park there for 2 years, and ran up a bankroll and moved to Florida, and it's been full-time since.
Well, I like your origin story because it parallels mine in this respect, at least. I also learned poker from my grandfather. I think a lot of people have. Did your grandfather just play socially, or did he actually make some money playing poker?
No, he's actually made some money playing poker, but all home games in Baraboo, Wisconsin.
Ah, I see. Is he still with us?
Yes, he just turned 80, and he couldn't be more happy that I'm playing professionally.
Have you ever watched him play? Have you ever played with him as an adult?
I think he's very good for an 80-year-old. He's definitely beating up everybody in Wisconsin.
Well, that's terrific. I'm intrigued by the fact that you've played at Running Aces, and that was your primary place where you started to play in casinos. I've also played there. I found it to be a great room. I mean, they really keep it well. Of course, they don't have real No Limit in Minnesota, right?
That was actually really beneficial as I was trying to build a bankroll, because I started with $500 worth of Christmas money, and the $100 max bet there on all of the games really protected me and prevented me from going on huge downswings that could have bankrupted me early on. And then the other thing is that at the time, 5 years ago, they had probably the highest comps anywhere in the United States. They had the setup where if you played 160 hours in a month, they would pay you $10 an hour in rake back on top of free food and all these players comps. So it was awesome.
Well, they were trying to steal players from Canterbury, I think, which was the premier place in Minnesota for years.
Right. So Canterbury had a monopoly on Minnesota gambling for the longest time. It really just crushed all of the other smaller Indian casinos that didn't offer poker and didn't offer certain types of table games. But then Running Aces came along and added all this competition, and competition is great because it forces people to provide better products and services for their customers.
Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Ever wonder how a generation of millennials made millions with an iPhone just by following their passions? How some went from living in their parents' basements to becoming more famous than movie stars? For decades, there were technologies, companies, products, and market conditions all paving the way for today's social media infrastructure. The new film Influencer takes you on a journey to meet some of these people and technologies while exploring the mind and the day-to-day lives of social media influencers. Get an inside look into the world of social media influencers and the impact they have. Go on a journey inside the digital revolution. Check out Influencer today. Now available for a limited time only. Head on over to influencerfilms.com for a private screening of Influencer, an inside look at the digital revolution. That's influencerfilms.com for a private screening of Influencer, an inside look at the digital revolution. Now available for a limited time only.
Psst. Yeah, you. Come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
You know, ever since the U.S. Supreme Court handed down its decision lifting the national ban on sports betting, the gambling landscape of the country is changing on a daily basis. So how do you keep up with all the latest news and developments? How do you know what each state is doing? You go to the one site that has all the information you need to stay ahead of the game, and that site is usbets.com. That's usbets.com. Written by the leading experts in the gambling industry, all you'll need is one visit to usbets.com and you'll see why it's the #1 gambling magazine in the USA. With usbets.com, you'll get up-to-date information on not just the sports betting scene, but also the latest news and notes on the entire gaming industry all across the country. It's not just one state, it's all of them in one spot. Stay in the loop and stay on top of your game. Get the latest news on sports betting and gambling from the country's #1 gambling magazine. Get on over to usbets.com. That's usbets.com.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
I have 3 jacks and 2 sixes. What's that called again?
A full house.
What a cute name. A full house. Is that good?
Yes, that means you win.
Again. Oh, God. This is almost embarrassing. What is that? 5 in a row? What a lovely watch.
Welcome back, listeners. Listeners, we're talking to Hunter Sitchy, who is a professional poker player, coach, and author. I was very impressed reading your credentials where you said that you were winning $70 an hour playing 2-5 no limit and wanted to see how much I could make playing 5-10 and then had to move. What did you find out? How much could you make playing 5-10? It seems like $70 an hour would be a reasonable goal even at 5-10. Did you exceed that?
Yeah, I definitely exceeded it. When I moved down to Florida in 2013, I think my hourly in 510 was about $140 an hour. I had a 1,000-hour sample size of that. Since then, it's really tapered off because bigger no-limit games have gotten very tough to the extent that you almost can't even find a 10 and a quarter game anymore. So I've transitioned over to PLO so that I can continue to play much, much bigger games. And I think an hourly over 200 an hour is very realistic in quarter PLO games or bigger.
And is that what you played, 25 PLO?
I've played as big as 100, 200, 400, but I've had to sell action for games that big. Typically, I wouldn't want to play larger than 50, 100 on my own bankroll.
I see. Because my goodness, if you're making over 200 an hour, if you're playing full time, that's $400,000 a year.
That's true, but there's also a tremendous amount of variance and a higher risk of ruin if you're not willing to move down in stakes after you go on a downswing. And it just takes a significantly more discipline than it would to make a living playing no limit hold'em.
Sure. Listeners, we're talking to Hunter Sitchy, who is a professional poker player, coach, and author. You're based in Florida now, is that right?
Yep. Couldn't find a better place to live.
So tell us about your coaching. I noticed that you wrote that you coach people on Skype. How does that work?
So we got to go all the way back to about 2014, where I was doing very well financially. I was, beating 10 1/4, no limit, and I was doing very well in $1,500 MTTs, sometimes larger. But I felt like I hit a wall. There was just this barrier where no matter how much I studied and how much I played and how much I consulted with other poker players that I respected, I couldn't get past that barrier and beat 2550. I couldn't beat $3,500 MTTs, and I was frustrated. And basically, I realized that the only way I was going to be able to get better was if I started coaching players that were trying to move up the ranks, because they would ask me questions that I never bothered to ask myself. They would force me to look at poker from a different perspective. They would force me to break down my thought process in a way that anyone could understand. And that was why I started coaching. It wasn't about the money. It was about making myself better. And then in the process, I became such a great poker coach that my time was very highly sought after. And in order to kind of limit the number of players that I was coaching, I had to raise my hourly to $200 an hour. And that resulted in the development of Check Shove Poker, and I couldn't be happier with it.
So how does it work? If somebody wants to hire you, what do they do, and how do you teach them?
So typically people are seeing the videos that I'm posting on YouTube. That's where I get the most click-through because I'm just putting out better free content than most paid content on a lot of these training sites. And if they're not coming from YouTube, they're coming from my Twitter account or my email list or my Facebook page. And they go to checkshovepoker.com. They read all about my bio and the services that I offer. And now I have a very nice site set up where they can see what my schedule will look like through Google Calendar, and then they can pick a date that works for them for coaching, and then book the session through a PayPal portal and get all of my Skype contact info and all of the materials that they would need to study before the session starts. It's all fully automated, so they don't actually have to speak to me until I log into Skype to chat with them.
Well, that will have to do it for the show. I'm eager to hear from you a year from now after your book is out, to hear how things went with that, if you have a follow-up book, and how the coaching career is going. So make sure to hook up with our producers and come back on.
Of course, absolutely, and I appreciate your time.
Well, nice talking to you. That's Hunter Sitchy, who is the founder of Check Shove Poker.
That'll do it for House of Cards. Come back next week. Until then, good luck and good day.
Build a house of cards around a lovely